Allo Conson wants to know, when will you and Mike Rowe be on camera together discussing culture? Probably when Mike Rowe's finished making money for Ford. I got a chance to meet Mike. I haven't seen him in a couple years now. I've met him on a couple occasions, and he's absolutely everything you think he is. He's just the greatest guy. He's just an all-American guy with a great sense of humor, and he's just really lighthearted. Nothing seems to get under his skin. He's just this big, goofy, tough, all-American guy. Dirty Jobs is one of the most important shows that's ever been on TV. He's just great, and I'm an enormous fan of his, and it was nice to find out he was a fan of mine, and I've often thought about how much good Mike would do just by coming out and saying, hey, look, I'm a Republican or a conservative, but he can't do it. I'm not saying he can't. I know he's been pretty fearless about his politics as a general rule, but you have to understand, if Mike Rowe comes out as a guy who is a conservative, actively, openly, then he can't endorse Ford anymore. And to be perfectly honest with you folks, it's not fair that he would be able to endorse Ford anymore. I can't believe that Alec Baldwin is doing Capital One ads. You know, I really do believe if you want to be a public figure in the motion picture business, your politics should stay with you. You have fans of both sides of this issue, and it gets more contentious every year. And if you come out as a strong liberal or a strong conservative, that 1 in 1,000, then you're alienating your fans. If you're out there every day like Sean Penn or oh golly, what's his name, Matt Damon, then I have no interest in seeing your movies. I'm not going to go see Matt Damon's movies. I'm not just even the ones that don't have the politics in it. I'm not going to go see. I'm not going to give any of my money. So it's really not fair to expect guys like that to do that. And I actually admire Mike for being that way. I admire anybody, even liberals who are public figures, and when they're asked about their politics, this is really my business and really doesn't have to concern you. So Mike is terrific. Dirty Jobs is one of the most American shows ever. It's a very important show. The whole idea was really important and brilliant, showing people, for those of you who may not have seen it on Discovery, it ran for years and years. You know, he just went around and did the worst work in America. He'd work in a tannery, or he'd clean out, houses that had been abandoned, and go in someplace where there's a wasp infection. He's an amazing guy. But he really is, Mike Rowe really is the real deal. He's not acting. He's just a laid-back, tough, fun, neat guy who you could just sit down and have a beer with and wouldn't treat you any differently than anybody else. And I really admire that about him and about people like that in general. A little more time here.